welcome. It's me, Percita, and this is Percitas Paradox. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate you and your time. If you are new to this channel, thank you so much for joining me as always. And if you are an OG, you know the rules. Thank you so much for always coming back and supporting me week after week. So today, the question of the day is simply, are you loving life? Are you actually loving your life right now? And I don't mean loving it in a pretense that everything is perfect and everything is exactly the way you planned it, right? I think we all have a notion in our brain of really being in a place where we think we should be right now. But I'm starting to recognize that at the end of the year, we start to really get into two places. I think it's a place of peace, and I think it's also a place of anxiety. I think it's a place where you are really coming to grips with you are who you are and you're feeling good about it, but you also are a little anxious, wondering if you've actually fulfilled the things you need to fulfill, or has this year been productive, or was there more that you can do? And I just wanted to talk about that today, to just really ask you, what do you think? How are you assessing yourself right now? Are you in a position of really grasping what's happening? And can you full-fledged, wholeheartedly say that you've given everything you possibly could give to this year to achieve whatever goal that you would set out to do for this year? That can get a little tricky. Things come up, places, people, situations, all that changes, and it can get a little strange. And I say that because I think a lot of times we don't deal with that part. So then we suppress it, and we eventually get to a boiling point at the end of the year, which is where I feel like anxiety kind of takes hold and just kills us. And it kills our spirits, and it kills our identity of really wanting to be in a loving place, and even feeling as if you should necessarily go on, not in reference to life, but just in reference to whatever the goal is, or should you give it up, or so on and so forth. Some people jump aboard that idea of new year, new me, and they're just going to kind of wash whatever they didn't fulfill for the year, and then they'll start something new. Are you that person? I don't think there's anything wrong with either, right? But I'm just trying to get you to assess who you are to make better decisions going into yet another year. But at the exact same time, still coming to grips with the idea of what has been your work ethic. I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, especially getting to the grind of the end of the year for me, there has been some things that I have put off all year to do. And I'm grinding them out now because I really want to make sure that I finish them. But I found myself saying to myself just literally the other day of, why exactly did you skip over it? Why did you take so much time to actually execute? Or why didn't you do it when you knew you needed to do it, instead of cramming it all into the end of your year? And I can come up with 50,000 excuses. You know, I'm not an excuse person, so I'm not going to sit here and rattle those off, because honestly, they make no difference, neither here nor there, meaning it didn't get done. And I'm the type of person to say to people that, you know, you can keep your excuse, because if it didn't get done, it simply didn't get done. But I had to really own the fact that my work ethic had been a little sloppy this year. And I don't mean in regards to anything more than the idea that COVID had allowed me to be home, right? And to actually be able to execute a lot of my business via Zoom or email or anything other than actual physical contact or face-to-face meetings. I had grown lax. And the idea of me actually going back full throttle, losing my mind, just didn't suffice. I wasn't interested. And at this stage, I'm starting to understand that that actually played a huge role in some things that I needed to actually get done. I'm now at that stage of trying to make it happen. But when I still reflect, I realize that that's just something I could have done. And I have to own that. I'm always interested to know, am I the only person that thinks like that? Am I the only person that owns it? And what I mean by owning it is that I actually take possession, and then I try to change the trajectory of whatever it is. Meaning I just try to make sure that I solidify it, even if it's just within myself. Meaning most people who see my work ethic wouldn't say anything about my work ethic other than, if I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, and I hold myself in high esteem in regards to that. But when I close the door in my bedroom and I'm laying in my bed, there's things that I know that I could have done better. And I'm just the type of person to just be that real about it, to simply say, you got to do better. I challenge you today to not necessarily have conversations with people who you didn't really put your best foot forward with, because I'm going to assume off the dome that you actually at least executed whatever it was you needed to do. But I want you to be real enough with yourself to really own the premise that you may have not done it to the best of your ability. You may have become the 80%er that I talked about 20 videos back. You may have been the person who just kind of delegated off to people. That's okay. I mean, it really is okay, as long as you understand that that does not sum up your entire worth. And again, as long as you were conscious and grown enough, let's just say that, to identify that that's what you did, instead of trying to blow smoke up your butt cheeks or trying to push something over on a person to believe something different. I'm a big proponent on just stand in whatever it is that you did, be it good or be it bad. There's really no one that can throw stones at people in a premise of trying to act as if they're perfect or they've done everything right. So I don't really get caught up in the judgment of others, because I think I judge myself hard enough and I don't really need any help in that department. So I'm proposing to you that you literally just take heed of the things that you could have done better, as well as creating a new regimen for you to do better coming into your new year, and still putting yourself in the position of making sure no matter what, you finish whatever you start. That's key for me. Making sure I finish whatever I start, making sure my word is my bond, because that's all I have, right? I only have my word. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to literally impress everyone. It doesn't mean that you're going to be in a position where, everyone's going to be on your side or your best is enough for everyone. There's going to always be the alternative to that, meaning the negativity of that. But just understand that when you are by yourself and you close your eyes at night, that you know within your soul that you have done everything you possibly could do, is really what I want you to think about today. So I don't have much. That's pretty much it that I want to tell you. But I definitely wanted to say that, because going into this idea of end of the year, what is happening, what have you done, we tend to beat ourselves up a little bit. We tend to put ourselves in a position of not really feeling the greatness that you were, or the greatness that you are, however you want to look at that, or the greatness of what you're going to become. So I want you to be in a position of understanding whatever you could change from this point forward, change it. Whatever you didn't do, try to rearrange it to make something happen by the end of the year. You still have some days. Miracles can happen in a matter of seconds, let alone having close to 15, 17, I don't know where we're at, I guess a good 20 some odd days left in the year. So make sure you do everything you can to not only feel good about what you've done, but to be able to be authentic in that. So as always, I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Live life authentic. Live life authentic. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.